Before we jump into the video, guys, I just want to say real quick that I don't have a script enough. I literally was just reading off the top of my head and just how I felt about this whole situation. One thing I want to say that I didn't mention till the end is let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on this. And make sure you watch the whole video to understand everything I'm saying and appreciate it. And, so there's no don't watch half the video, then comment, slating me. Watch the whole video and then feel free to have a discussion. And, enjoy, guys. Just look for the disappointment in my face. But yeah, enjoy. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. And we are here just talking about the Ben Askren Jake Paul fight. I'm just going to be getting pretty much how I feel out about this fight. Just right now, guys. I'm not going to be doing no cuts, no writing nothing down. Just I'm telling you guys how it is and how I feel. I'm going to start this video just by saying I think this matchup will be slightly more competitive than what people generally believe. I think the consensus is that Jake is going to go out there, land one strike on Askren, and Askren's going to just turn into a pool of jelly. I don't think that's going to happen. Askren believes he'll knock Jake out in the 7th round. I don't believe that at all. I do think this fight is going to be more competitive than people think, but I still think this is the worst possible matchup for us as combat sports fans, for us as MMA and boxing fans in general. For boxing, this is a little bit embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. And, I mean, Jake Paul's point now is that he's fought a boxer, and he's fought a basketball player, and everyone complained it wasn't a real fighter. So he has chose Ben Askren to have a real fight against, which is just ridiculous. And he knows exactly what he's doing. He is, deep down in a little part of his ego, he is afraid to fight a real boxer. He is afraid. So he has chose arguably the worst striker the UFC has seen, at least currently, in my opinion anyways. Ben Askren's striking is abysmal. I genuinely believe that I would stand a good chance against him, and I have only done about a year of training for boxing. I think this is a terrible, terrible matchup. I don't know if this is going to make MMA fans look bad and MMA fighters look bad when Jake wins this. Obviously, I can't sit here and say that Ben Askren can't win this, because that's not true. Ben Askren can win this. He has a good shot at winning this. But if and when, in my opinion, Jake Paul wins this, his ego is going to be enormous. It's going to be so inflated by his fans and his hype men around him. And I predicted it. I said, guys, that he will never fight a real fucking boxer. He will fight a MMA fighter that has no stand-up experience other than in that cage. And yes, Ben Askren did have a good point that he's been across the octagon from some great fighters in Bellator. I think it was Bellator. Which is a fair point, but this is a different ballgame. This is boxing. There is no wrestling. There is barely any clinching. That was I saw some people saying that you can clinch in boxing. You can, but the refs will separate it almost immediately. There is no real game plan to clinching. You do it to catch your breath. You do it to land a few shots to the side of the opponent's body. There is not a clinching game. You can't hold your opponent by the back of the head and throw uppercuts. It is against the rules. So there is not going to be a clinch. This is going to be a stand-up battle only. Obviously, it's boxing. And now Jake Paul's argument is going to be, this is why he's so good, because he's fought a real MMA fighter, and he is going to then compare this win amongst all MMA fighters. He's going to say, well, I beat an MMA fighter, I beat a former champion. I can beat anyone now. And I will not see him fight a real boxer. I guarantee you guys, he will not fight a real boxer. He will probably fight one more fight after this and then leave it there. Which is funny because he's moved house to focus on his boxing, and yet he doesn't want to fight a boxer. He needs to fight a real fucking contender. He needs to fight someone who is at his weight, a cruiserweight, a light heavyweight, that is 2-0 or 5-0 or 10-1 or something like that, and just watch him get murdered. Watch him get absolutely murdered. This is just not a good matchup, guys, for us as fans, in my opinion. Will I be watching it? Yes. Will I be supporting either of them? Yes, I'll be supporting Ben Askren. People are saying on Twitter at the minute, I saw, I retweeted it as well, I think it was Mali MMA, I think, something like, if Ben Askren wins this, we will wipe the Masvidal loss from our memories. He will never mention you get kneed in the head ever again. So... And that's true. If Ben Askren wins this, he will forever be my GOAT. I will literally love this man forever, but I don't think he will. I don't want to be a dick and say that it's going to be an easy fight, because it won't. I think Ben Askren is going to offer a good amount of competition because he's an athlete naturally. So he's going to pick up the boxing side very quickly, but I think he's still going to be very still in there, very stale. I think he's going to not have very much free-flowing movement. The only compliment I will ever give Jake is the fact that he brings more eyes to the sport, which is good, but there's also a bad thing, because these eyes that he brings, they generally believe that Jake is good, and it's fucking infuriating. His fans and him are going to become more infuriating than they are already, which is almost impressive in itself. And in my opinion, guys, Jake is just scum on the sport. He is scum on the sport. He has no respect. Second, someone he doesn't really like losers, he's laughing at them and disrespecting them. Regardless, yeah, it was McGregor, but whoever else it will be, he does the same to them, and it's disgusting. It is ridiculous. I hate him. He has no respect for the sport, and the fact that he sits there so confident, and yet he wants to focus on boxing full time, and yet, he is happy for his peers of the sport, people that are in the same sport as him, to despise him. And it is beyond me. And it's not like a McGregor despise him where, oh, he's so arrogant, he's shit talking, whatever. Like, people despise him because he has fought nobody of note. He has not fought a real boxer, and he acts like a god. And it's fucking infuriating. I just, generally, guys, this is not a good matchup for the world of MMA, the world of boxing in general, the world of combat sports in general. This is awful. This is absolutely awful. And, you know, Jake has tried to compare it by being like, I'm just some YouTube kid against a two-time all-state wrestler and a former MMA champion. I'm just some kid that dresses up in dresses for TikToks. He's so planting the seed that he wants to be the underdog so bad, but we see right through it. He's so predictable in everything he does. It's actually painful. Honestly, he is so predictable. He is so trying to plant the seed that he is this huge underdog and that he shouldn't win. But we all know he's going to win. We all know he is the favourite to win. He is the one that's been training boxing religiously with professional boxers for 2 or 3 years now. He has had an amateur bout and 2 professional bouts. He's not an idiot, but he is that thick. He genuinely believes he's that good, and it's fucking painful. And as a boxing fan, I'm genuinely disappointed that this is the fight. This is the fight that he's given it large about how his opponent will be announced soon, and proper hyping it up like it's going to be someone good, and then Ben Askren waddles through the fucking arena after his hip surgery. It's ridiculous. Fight a real boxer and then I'll stop slating you as much, but that will never happen. But I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, that's the main thing I want to hear right here. Obviously, you guys know that I want to hear your thoughts on this. But this is just a bad matchup, man. This is just stupid. Jake Paul has picked this perfectly. He knows his chances of winning are very high, and deep down, somewhere in his little buried ego, deep hidden away, he knows he can't fight a real boxer. He knows he can't compete with someone who's got a background in boxing. He will get slaughtered. And his fans try to say he called out McGregor and Dillon. They're both too afraid to fight him. It's like, no, they won't. They just have better things to do. They don't need to fight an exhibition against some fucking idiot. And then Bisping, who just had surgery, accepted the fight. And Jake, after slating Bisping about this, and then Bisping accepting the fight, Jake then said, I don't need to fight Bisping, he's washed up. The fear, the general fear there is astounding. And his fans don't see that, and it makes me laugh, but it also makes me really fucking angry. But I'm not going to waffle on too much longer, guys. I'm just disappointed that this is the matchup that we've got. That's pretty much all I can say, really. I'm just disappointed that this is what we've got. I was expecting something better. Jake, yet again, has let everyone down. And his ego is going to be enormous. It's just ridiculous, honestly. This is just ridiculous. So, let me know your thoughts, guys. I just don't think this is good for sports in general. I think other than the amount of eyes we get on the sport, this is not good. This makes, if and when Ben Askren loses, it makes fighters look bad. Jake Paul's ego and himself and his fans become more insufferable than ever. And until the day he fights a real boxer, there ain't going to be no respect from anyone in the sport of fighting. That's the thing. I've never, honestly, there is going to be no respect there. No respect from anyone in the world of fighting for Jake, because he fights exhibition match against fucking idiots and people that have hardly ever put on a pair of gloves and have fought in a boxing standpoint. I appreciate that Ben Askren would have trained stand up for his MMA. I appreciate that. But let's be honest, he wasn't out there head movement, landing counter shots, landing 4-5 hit clean combos. Slipping off, catching his opponents with counters, check hooks, everything like that. His stand up is pretty bad, and he used it to get inside to get the takedowns, which is how he won most of his fights. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this goes down. Obviously, I'll be watching it, but this is just embarrassing, guys. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.